The Toronto Blue Jays have found their next superstar, and the MLB is terrified of this. As following what was a crazy game yesterday afternoon, there was one thing, one player that stole the spotlight. We're going to break down exactly what happened, but most importantly, break down some brand new updates that have dropped following yesterday night's game that have big implications into tomorrow's crucial, potentially series clinching win against the Yankees, as well as some comments and some behind the scenes insights surrounding Trey Yesavage that not only reveals that he is a superstar, but folks, you're going to want to stay tuned till the end of this because it will give you chills. A ton to go over today, but before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We just hit 19,000, so thank you guys for that. If you're enjoying the daily Jays content, multiple videos a day. And if you're enjoying the Toronto Blue Jays' insane playoff run thus far, winning their first two games, make sure to hit the subscribe button. You guys have been beasts with the support. Folks, my voice, if you can hear it a little bit, it's a little bit coarse. It's a little bit, it's going away a bit because of how much I was yelling yesterday during the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Grand Slam and all these different things. And it hit me a little bit last night. But folks, I want to dive into a few different things. And of course, we have some big updates to go over surrounding tomorrow's game. But I want to lean into, for the first bit at least, Trey Yesavage, as some new stuff has dropped, some new articles and a plethora of articles dropped from Keegan Matheson, Schneider, Ben Nicholson-Smith. But I want to dive into some behind-the-scenes stuff, and let's start with a very interesting article dropped from Shai Davidi. And folks, the Jays have their next superstar, and if yesterday didn't prove that, yes, this is only his fourth career start. I don't care. This guy is a star in the making and has already accomplished a lot more than a lot of the Jays pitchers have throughout their careers. And I'm not saying the pitchers and the staff now, but just rookies and prospects in general. But you can see here, 3 pitches into game 2 of this already on the cusp American League Division Series. Trent Grisham went down 1-2 in the count, called for time, and Trey Yesavage came set. The 22-year-old, however, wasn't having any of Grisham's games, and he didn't even flinch, remaining in position until Grisham dug back in and then immediately struck him out. And this is something that flew by a lot of your guys' attention, a lot of Jays fans. Folks, this was early in the game. This is the third batter, I believe it was, or one of the first batters in the game. Trent Grisham calls timeout. Trey Yesavage just stands there, doesn't flinch, has complete eyes of just locked in. You could see through his eyes. He's ready to just do his job. He gets it done. And folks, he took care of business. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are things like that that really show not only how composed Trey Yesavage is, but this guy is a superstar, truly a superstar. And when I say superstar, let me make it very clear. He's a superstar in the making. And that's because he hasn't pitched enough to be actually, named a superstar. I mean, maybe you can if you want. Yesterday's game solidified him as, let alone being a huge part of this team's future. He could be a huge part of this team's World Series run this year. And not to get my head on myself too much, even just a part of their run this year in general. And for him to go out and do something like that, like immediately just stare the guy down, not even move, and get him out with the splitter was dominant. And to see how far he's come, the article goes on to say, the 2024 first-round pick, he opened the season in low A, claimed that he was, quote, built for this when asked about how he's feeling heading into this start. This guy is unbelievable. And you can see here, Yesavage, he just stood there. And this is an excerpt from Keegan Matheson about that exact same moment where he stood still, already set for the pitch with the ball high in his glove. He stood completely still. Take your damn time. I'll be here. And when Grisham finally stepped back in, there came the splitter. And then back to the dugout as Yesavage's first of 11 strikeouts. Absolutely electric stuff from Trey Yesavage. And he made MLB history, being the first pitcher in MLB history with 11 strikeouts while allowing 0 hits to the first 5 innings. This guy, like I mentioned in yesterday's video night, made baseball history. He made Jays history. He captured a Blue Jays fan base. His post-game interview, he was a little bit emotional, saying, shouting out the crowd, and shout out to all of us. That Rogers Center was buzzing. I can't even imagine what it would have been like with the dome closed. But folks, this guy is a stud, and it's something that I wanted to even dive into more because as you start now to gear up for the next game, taking a minute to step back and realize that we have a rookie young rookie phenom who just struck out 11 in his first game, didn't give up a hit against the Yankees in their first ever battle together. Absolutely dominant. And you can see some behind the scenes stuff, his mental side and how much of a dog he is. I don't think people understand that, and they're about to find out. He said he was built for this, and he showed it. Wow. And that's it, folks. He is built for this. He did show it. And him staring down Trent Grisham when he called timeout and not even moving, and he didn't stare him down in a provocative way. He stared him down as in, okay, let's get this show rolling. I'm ready for this. He was ready for this. And now, as it pertains to updates for the next few games, let's dive into that. For one, he allowed himself, with only 78 pitches thrown, and shout out to John Schneider for the move, he allowed himself now to be ready for a potential game. We assume 5, maybe 4 if they push it scenario here. And hopefully they take care of business tomorrow. And something kind of lost in all this is if they can get into the ALCS, which I don't want to, count my chickens here. I think that's a saying. Let me know down below. I think it's before they hatch. Count the chickens before they hatch. You guys, if you've been loyal followers for a while, I'm horrible at sayings. I say about half of them right and half of them wrong. But I digress. Yesavage, like, he could be a factor in, of course, the LCS. But Bichette, like him, I don't want to throw this out there because I want to do this after the Jays win. And if you think the series is over, you're very wrong because it's not. The series is not over until it's officially over. But they have a lot of things going for them right now. They're doing all this, putting up 13 runs, back-to-back double-digit runs against a good team in the Yankees, a great team in the Yankees, without Bichette. And yesterday they did it without Anthony Santander. I assume he factors into tomorrow's game against Carlos Rodon. And it was wild. And John Schneider said that he knew fans would boo him when he took out Trey Yesavage. And guess what? I know the fans probably wanted me to stay out there, but it's the smart thing to do. John Schneider has grown as a manager. And as you head into now a pretty important game, obviously, against the Yankees here, you cannot let them back into the series, right? It's going to be Carlos Rodon versus Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber said yesterday or the day before in the media, like he's ready for it. And he has pitched at Yankee Stadium before, has had interesting postseason success in the past. Unfortunately, Shane Bieber doesn't have a splitter, but he can use his changeup as maybe a pseudo splitter to kind of have the same action against lefties, down and away. Ben Wright struggles with splitters down and away, struggles with pitches down and away. If you have the changeup thrown there, you can make some things happen. Obviously, they're probably going to stack up their lefties again. Wouldn't be surprised if Paul Goldschmidt gets in instead of Ben Rice, though. He's been struggling greatly. The series is in the Jays' hands right now, but you have to step on their throats and have to keep going. If you don't, you'll be in, pretty rough shape, right? And to see quickly to put a wrap on the Trey Yesavage thing. 21 years old, by the way, 22 now, I think. Looking at where he started, obviously college, he was drafted, started in A, up to AA, up to AAA, up to MLB, up to making Blue Jays history, and now up to being a superstar in the making. Super exciting stuff. And a couple things before we wrap up here as well. Ernie Clement, after that home run, he even said, I don't remember anything, totally blacked out. I have no idea what I was doing. Probably looked like an idiot. He didn't, but he said his heart was beating so fast. A lot of these guys' first playoff appearances, first playoff starts. Ernie was obviously on the taxi squad a couple of years ago, I believe in 2023. Correct me if I'm wrong, 2022, he wouldn't have been there. So yeah, 2023, he was in the taxi squad, didn't make an appearance. The Jays got swept. This year, he is one of the most crucial players to this Jays team in the way that they get, like what a lot of Yankees fans now are calling it Blue Jade, like Blue Jays ball, where you just put balls in play and things like that. The Jays have out-homered the Yankees, tenfold. But it is exciting, right? And at this point, folks, the MLB is getting put on notice. You have Jeff Passan tweeting, the national media finally. I mean, John Heyman saying he hasn't been there since Joe Carter's home run in the World Series to walk it off and win the World Series. Somehow I'm a national reporter for the Yankees, or I guess for New York in the East Coast, hasn't been to Toronto in whatever it was, however many years, couple decades, 3 decades. Ludicrous. But everyone's starting to take notice now. And Trey Yesavage is at the forefront of it. And for a lot of Yankees fans out there, they had no idea who Trey was. They were thinking, okay, this is Max Fried versus a young rookie pitcher. How will things go? Probably great. Now it's Carlos Rodon versus, guess what? The Jays, you could argue best pitcher in Shane Bieber. Definitely the highest ceiling, I guess, outside of Yesavage now, which is crazy to say. This is why the Jays, and I had a video on this yesterday morning, this is why the Jays have set up their rotation like this. 3 pitchers, of course, a bullpen day, the day after tomorrow, if it happens there. But they're set up for greatness. And looking at some of the Game 2 fun facts here, the Jays have more homers than strikeouts in the series. Yesavage's 58% whiff rate is the highest of any pitcher in any postseason outing since 2008. And Guerrero Jr. has seen 37 pitches in the series and chased only 2. His 2 singles in Game 1. Folks, ludicrous stuff. And if that checks out, he's seen 37 pitches, only chased 2, and both of his were singles. That means he hasn't chased a pitch and not gotten a hit off of it in this series. So Vladdy's locked in. Trey is locked in and going to be available going forward, we would assume, in a few days here once he gets his rest, probably Game 5 if needed. You have Kevin Gausman is probably going to be starting Game 5, and it all starts tomorrow with Carlos Rodon versus Shane Bieber. And Rodon is a tough lefty, not as tough as Max Fried. If the Jays can get to him, I presume a similar lineup will be in play. Wouldn't be surprised if IKF takes a seat and they find a way to get Santander in there. But folks, put Santander in there. Let Varsho mash lefties. Let everyone mash everybody. This is the spot to be for amazing baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. But folks, I cannot believe this is the world we're living in here. What was a crazy, horrible year last year. I obviously still made daily videos, but like that was such a bad year. 74 wins. We were thinking, okay, maybe they make the playoffs this year. They did more than that. They're doing something special. And no matter what, folks, we have 2 wins under our belt at Rogers Center. You guys are beasts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.